Wellbeing, like most businesses, has suffered at Google during lockdown for a couple of reasons. One is it's just those sort of exogenous factors that we can't do much about. It's kind of tough out there, and it's a bit depressing when we can't go to our favourite restaurant or see family and host parties and things like that. But partly it's because of the relentless loneliness in some cases of just working from home and not having that social interaction at work. In some cases that's been personally difficult because of flat share situations or young children present, and that tends to sort of exacerbate it. And the flip side of productivity, I find when I go into the office here, I probably lose about 30% productivity, right? I just get less done, or it extends my day, one of the two, usually both, right? But the flip side of that, what needs to be true for that to be true, is that when we work from home, we work more intensively, right? You don't have those sort of walks between the meeting rooms or those sort of natural coffee time breaks where you sort of bump into somebody and chat to them over the water cooler or whatever. And that's just tiring, isn't it? A lot of my team just tell me they're just tired. I mean, it's just high workload, high intensity, and it's been pretty relentless. So how do we measure this? We do a pretty intensive survey once a year called Google Geist, where we ask more than 100 questions, including on wellbeing. And we treat it really, really seriously. We look at the results, we're data obsessed. And when we see movements in numbers to do with mental health and wellbeing, we really act on it. And we don't necessarily also wait for the annual survey. So I, for example, in my team, I do a weekly pulse. I use this little app called Friday Pulse. So I get a weekly update. One of my other jobs at Google is to lead wellbeing as an initiative for Google in the EMEA region, actually, and that's about to become a global hat that I need to wear. And we pay very close attention to it there as well. And there's been a few things that we've done to address it. Obviously, we can't control the uncontrollables, right? So they are just what they are, and we need to be sensitive to them and give people the space to decompress when they need it. And many people have taken advantage of that, including carers leave, by the way. If you've just got young kids and it's hard to work, we just said don't work, right? And do that for as long as you need. Right, so that's one thing, being sensitive to the environment. But other things like we have a monthly wellbeing newsletter with tips and techniques. We have a speaker series. I've had Anton Oliver, for example, famous Kiwi as well, talking about mental wellness and mental resilience as he experienced it through his days as an All Black captain. Lots of other interesting people who are sort of thought provoking and help people with sort of tools and techniques. We had a thing during April, I think it was, called Restival. For those Jerry Seinfeld fans, you might remember there was a Restivus for the rest of us, some sort of festival that Kramer had made up, or George, can't remember which. So our Restival was a series of things. We had eye yoga, we had wine tasting, we had loads of different things, all of them virtually hosted, designed at Wellbeing. So I find just having a very open, normalizing it, having a very open dialogue about it. In one case, so for example, one of my people has up days and down days. They suffer from a little bit of depression from time to time, and we'll chat to each other in the morning and say, I'll say, I'm about a 6 out of 10 today. I had a reasonably poor night's sleep, but a nice breakfast and I'm ready for the day. How about you? And they would say, well, I'm about a 3 because I just feel a bit low today. Well, thanks for that. Do you need a bit of time out this morning, or do you want to take the day? It becomes really part of the rhythm and normalcy of an employee relationship. I think just getting mental health out there into the workplace is absolutely the right thing to do. By the way, my people who are affected by mental health challenges, as most people are from time to time, are some of the best performers in the team. Phil, and to the earlier questions on well-being and so on. Balance is not necessarily for everyone, at least kicking your feet up with a good book in the countryside. For some it is, but there are very few jobs in the world that fully satisfy all of your interests, and that's certainly true of my job, right? It does not fully satisfy all of my interests, and if you do have one of those jobs that fully satisfies all of your interests, then you've struck gold. But I would hazard a guess that no one's in that situation. So by definition, to have a well-rounded life, a life where you pursue your interests holistically and comprehensively, you need to have interests outside work that you actively pursue. My wife calls me an active relaxer. So what I do for fun is, I have a pilot's license. I fly planes. So does my wife, by the way. She's just got a pilot's license, yay, a couple of months ago. So we fly together now. I tell you what, you can't think about anything other than flying when you fly. So that's a great way to escape the rigmarole. I've got a couple of social purpose businesses. The record label and the film and TV company are about giving creatives from less privilege a start, and that's my way, I suppose, of giving back and also exercising an interest in creativity that I have, that I feel like I need to express. And I love working with new businesses and entrepreneurs with disruptive ideas. So I'm an investor. I have 11 companies in my portfolio that I've invested in, and I really enjoy working with those people, learning from them, and hopefully giving them some advice along the way as well. So these are all interests that I think help balance us. And Google's been really supportive of that. My pilot's license was partially subsidized by Google. They encourage people to do training, even if it's completely unrelated to work, because it leads to happiness, fulfillment, and all of that produces a person that's going to be more effective and productive.